welcome to Catalan News. It's the second day of mobilizations in Catalonia against Spanish attempts to block the independence referendum. After a very intense day yesterday, with citizens taking to the streets for more than 12 hours of protesting against the arrest of 14 high-ranking officials from the Catalan government, today Catalans started what they warn will be a non-stop mobilization. Here at Catalan News, we have all the details about what's going on. Let's start. Spain's Guardia Civil is the oldest police corps in Spain. It is organised as a military force, and in many Catalans' minds it is associated with the worst scenes of repression during the Franco dictatorship, and it is now in charge of stopping the Catalan referendum. While Spanish agents raided several government buildings yesterday and arrested 15 people, Catalans reacted immediately.
On Wednesday, people protested all night long against the major police operation to stop the independence referendum. Today, the demonstration goes on. Pro-independence organizations called citizens to gather peacefully in front of the Catalan High Court of Justice. Their demand was clear: the release of the Catalan high-ranking politicians still under arrest for organizing the October 1st vote.
Catalunya avui té detinguts polítics. El govern espanyol persegueix persones pel seu ideal democràtic.
Davant d'un estat que vol actuar com Turquia, nosaltres volem fer el que han fet al Quebec i Escòcia, votar amb llibertat.
Catalans are used to taking to the streets, vindicating their right to self-determination. They do so every year on September 11th, Catalonia's National Day. But this time could be different. It could be the beginning of a long-term mobilization.
People of all ages have arrived, and despite this being the second day of protests, and a protest that yesterday went from the early hours in the morning until very late at night, the energy is still high. And in fact, even with this high energy, you can see that the energy continues to be very peaceful, with people continuing to chant everything that they chanted yesterday, such as Votarem, we will vote, independence, as well as a new chant that has appeared, Llibertat, liberty, freedom.
Indeed, some of the detainees have already been freed after spending the night in jail. In total, 15 people were arrested. 13 were Catalan high-ranking officials, including key figures in the organization of the referendum.
Damos gracias en nombre de Natalia y del resto de detenidos por el apoyo que ha habido, sobre todo de la gente que se ha manifestado voluntariamente. Habéis de entender que están muy cansados los que están saliendo por todas las horas vividas, horas de mucha tensión y de incertidumbre.
The detainees have been charged with crimes such as sedition, disobedience, and misuse of public funds. Yet, the case against the independence referendum went a step further today. For the first time, the Spanish Constitutional Court issued fines for disobeying the law. 24 officials were fined with up to 12,000 euros per day. The exceptionality of the measure has a clear goal: to deter any individual from not complying with court rulings.
While some officials are already facing huge bills for their support for the referendum, many other bills from the Catalan government might be left unpaid because from today, Catalan finances have been taken over. All the government bank accounts are now blocked and spending is controlled by Madrid. The Spanish government says it will pay directly salaries of public servants and basic services such as health or education, but Catalonia will no longer be able to spend anything on foreign affairs, electoral processes, the newly announced guaranteed minimum income, or cooperation, culture and promotion of the Catalan language abroad. All of these measures are meant to stop the referendum on independence, but the Catalan government is insisting that it will go ahead on October 1st, whatever happens. Despite the latest arrests and the confiscation of campaign material and the ballots, today the government announced new details about the vote.
One way or another, the referendum will take place. The Catalan government spokesman insisted that the logistics for the vote will be in place on October the 1st. In fact, the places where all citizens can vote was published on a website on Thursday evening. Not giving any more details, he asked the public to trust the cabinet.
Tothom anirà rebent notícies i informació de tot plegat, però que ens ho deixin administrar a la nostra manera, donada la situació que nosaltres estem.
Meanwhile, the Catalan vice president admitted that the recent Spanish push to dismantle the referendum has altered the rules of the game. Yet he also insisted that the public will get to vote on October the 1st, whatever happens. Not only have the authorities issued 24 daily fines for disobeying the law, taken total control of Catalonia's finances, seized 1.5 million referendum posters and 10 million ballot papers, but the Spanish police launched a major operation against dozens of government buildings and arrested 15 people on Wednesday. Some people in Catalonia call the action repression, something the Spanish government delegate to the territory denied.
No és lògic que un govern elegit democràticament, en aquest cas el govern que representa l'Estat a Catalunya, que actuï contra el propi Estat, declarant-se en rebel·lia fora de les lleis.
There's a point of view that Catalan President Carles Puigdemont does not agree with. In a letter published on Thursday in the UK's Guardian newspaper, he said that the European Commission has a duty to intervene in the Catalonia-Spain conflict. Puigdemont demanded EU action and accused Spain of violating the European Charter of Fundamental Rights.
Puigdemont's attempts to get the EU to act officially on what's going on in Catalonia have been, so far, fruitless. However, off the record, high-ranking EU officials admitted today that they are worried by events in Barcelona, and pressure is mounting. The international press in Brussels started to question spokespersons about why the European Commission keeps saying it has nothing to say about Catalonia, and they were not at all convinced by the answers.
It has not been an easy day for the European Commission chief spokesman Margaritis Schinas. Catalonia is a very sensitive issue for EU officials. They try not to get involved in what they see as a domestic affair in Spain. But after yesterday's arrest in Barcelona, international journalists started to question Brussels' stance very insistently.
Tu n'as strictement rien à dire au nom de la Commission sur ce qui s'est passé hier.
C'est un problème de droit, de liberté fondamentale aussi.
À quel moment est-ce que vous allez vous exprimer?
The European Commission refusal to get involved in the Catalan issue, while it comments daily on events in Venezuela, Poland and even South Sudan, was also criticized by the permanent representative of the Catalan government before the EU, a former Commission spokesman himself.
La resposta de la Comissió Europea segueix sent insuficient i decebedora pels ciutadans de Catalunya, tant els que volen votar sí com els que volen votar no o els que no volen votar.
But while Brussels says nothing, some start to raise their concern. In London, a group of MPs on Lords wrote a letter asking Spain to allow the October 1 referendum, and in Edinburgh, the Scottish First Minister, Nicola Sturgeon, asked for respect to self-determination.
It is, of course, entirely legitimate for Spain to oppose independence for Catalonia. But what I think is of concern anywhere is for a state to seek to deny the right of a people to democratically express their will. The right of self-determination is an important international principle, and I hope very much that it will be respected in Catalonia.
The Irish Parliament also held a short debate on Catalonia today, while a group of Estonian MPs urged Madrid to engage in political dialogue with Barcelona. Even former CIA agent Edward Snowden tweeted today that what's happening in Catalonia is an abuse against human rights.
Meanwhile, 3 big ships have docked in the Barcelona and Tarragona ports. They are intended to host up to 4,000 police agents that could be deployed in the streets of Catalonia to stop the referendum taking place. The stevedores in the port of Barcelona, however, have not been very welcoming to the police agents. In fact, they have voted today in an assembly against providing them with basic services. Other trade unions are also discussing today mobilizations against the Spanish government attempts to stop the referendum. And with this, we finish today's show. We'll be back tomorrow with more information about the latest developments in Catalonia. We leave you now with some images that show how people are getting comfortable in the streets. Maybe very clear proof that they plan to be there for the long run. Thanks for watching and goodbye.